What is up, guys? Welcome back to Scene Invaders podcast. We're at episode 421. I was gone last week. Everybody held down the fort. And as my title says, I'm a dead body, guys. I'm in the process of, well, I'm not in the process anymore. I have moved at this point with another move imminent in a couple of months. So I will be a extra dead body in April. But yeah, we're surviving, I guess, like kind of surviving. And
you're thriving.
I'm going to be thriving when I'm in a place that like feels like kind of semi-permanent for a little while. That will be thriving.
Beautiful.
So it's going to be like a little bit less than thriving for just a little bit, guys. And when I get a slightly more permanent setup, so we're going to deal with my like semi or not even semi-permanent, like my not exactly permanent setup for now. But we get to have this done. Like I told Brad earlier tonight, like this, it feels so nice to like sit down and do something fucking normal,
right?
And just talk about movies and talk with my friends and all that kind of stuff. This is the first time I've like sat down in a meaningful way in like a week, probably. So
and you're doing it with us.
Yeah, and it feels really good. And speaking of us, we have Mr. Brad from Canada. Sir,
how's it going, eh? We missed you, man. We missed you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I hated it last week. I just couldn't. There was just so much on my plate.
So don't.
Yeah, we totally.
We've all taken weeks off, you know. That's why there's 14 of us.
But right. But honestly, it worked out because, yeah, the one movie I watched was from 2 weeks ago. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, if that shows you anything about my life, guys. We also have Miss Carly. Miss Carly, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just happy to be back. Happy to talk about sexy movies later and the Oscars, of course.
Me too. Yes. We are Oscar experts, guys.
Yes.
Like, I think you all know this by
Super
now.
experts.
Oh, yeah. Just check out my picks that I did a couple weeks ago.
Okay, right.
I think I did actually pretty well.
0 for 14 or whatever I think I got. Yeah. I think I was the only one that enjoyed a complete unknown.
Okay, right. Oh, yeah.
I thought that was going to... Never mind. We'll talk about it during Oscars.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, yeah.
But anyway, I mean, like, it was fun to watch part of the Oscars. You know, I guess, Brad, did you watch the whole thing live?
I did, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, except for, unfortunately, I missed the monologue because I was attempting to find it on my... I got that IPTV, so it's like, okay, roll the dice, pick a channel, see if so it's on like Boston ABC and then Pittsburgh NBC, so it's like, all right, take a shot.
Well,
but I did find it.
Hulu struggled at the beginning with it.
Well, they struggled at the end too, for sure.
I don't have Hulu up here.
Okay,
much like anything.
Disney Plus North.
I have Disney Plus.
Disney Plus North. I'm dead.
I'm sorry. God. That is the name of Kanye's newest baby.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
Timmy's parent. Yeah.
This is the start we're off to tonight. We also have Mr. Coach. We haven't introduced, but Mr. Coach.
Hello. La la la.
Okay, right. Like everybody said, we're gonna go through what we watched this week, or for me 2 weeks ago. We're going to talk about the Oscars, Oscar experts in the house. And then coming up at the end of the show, we're going to talk about some of our favorite erotic or sexy movies. And this was hard, guys, because a couple of mine might be like, that was a choice. Like...
I'm sure they're fine.
No, I mean, I'm confident in what I picked, but like,
okay,
I'm like, will other people... We'll see. So yeah, as always, Chad's
it's gonna
be like the weirdo who's like, But tonight we are getting started with Mr. Coach and what he watched this past week. Sir, what did you watch?
I am continuing on the enjoyment that I had. I was giving rave reviews to the Hulu show Paradise last week. It is a murder mystery with time jumping that reminds me of a lot of Lost without the mysticism. Sterling K. Brown is the star. James Marsden and good. Julia Nicholson, I believe it is. Yeah, Julia and Nicholson. They're the kind of the two supporting actor and actresses. It's a story that's just getting really, really good, and there's a couple of really good whoa moments, like oof, like in the first couple episodes, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Hell yeah.
Is it a weekly drop kind of thing, or is it?
Yeah, it's a weekly drop. I think I'm still a couple behind So I'm kind of like midway through it. As I pull it up here, it looks like there's going to be yeah, it looks like the last episode just came out last night.
Oh, really? So it's
So
available
it is.
for
It looks like
for you
it's now
bingers.
completed. Yeah.
How many episodes?
8.
Oh,
Okay. That's
easy
So
breezy.
nice svelte little show.
Well, you had me at Lost without the mysticism. I love Lost.
Right.
Yeah, it's like there's all these different stories, and they do the time switch so well to try and tell the story.
Mhm.
so like
One of the big
Strange
things.
Darling, Pulp Fiction kind of thing.
It's more like, well, these two interacted at this time, but we didn't know that they were interacting. But then these
okay.
two are interacting. The characters are very well told in terms of their motivation.
Okay.
So it's like you believe what they're saying and what they're doing because the way that the people are.
Okay.
And that's a lot similar to the second one show I've been watching, and that is called Common Side Effects. Now, this is done by the same person or same duo that gave us Scavenger's Reign. If anybody watched that,
I watched some of it, but yeah, I was really, really impressed.
So this is an animated show about a botanist who loses touch with a high school lab partner, and their paths cross later in life. And he has found a mysterious mushroom down in Peru. And this mushroom is kind of the be-all, save-all. Like, regenerates like anything that's sick. Kind of, it fixes anything. It's kind of the quote-unquote stem cell type of thing in a fungi thing. And it is a conspiracy hunting, running, chasing animated film. Or not film, but series.
Okay.
And where like every single conspiracy theorist is all in it. Like there is little bugs with cameras and like it's like this pharmaceutical company trying to get rid of or get this mushroom so that they can
miracle mushroom.
Yes.
So they can make more money.
It is Mike Judge's the voice. It's a little, the animation's a little weird. It almost looks like that Snapchat filter where like it makes people's heads bigger.
Okay.
Okay.
And there is a lot of trippy scenes because it's dealing with mushrooms and stuff, but it is so just the character work in this. I know that's what I said with the last one, but like every single person, you're just like, oh, this guy is a hitman, and this is why he does what he does, and this guy is trying to preserve this, and everybody has this motive. There's these two really cool detectives that just randomly dance. And I know that just sounds crazy, but
sounds pretty
they
great.
will just turn out music and just go and vibe to whatever they're listening to.
The world needs more random dancing.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I highly recommend it. And actually for this one, just the I do think that the trailer will give you a good enough idea without spoiling it.
Okay.
But it will give you.
Where do you watch this?
This is HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
But it also says Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they used to have an Adult Swim app.
Okay.
Oh wow.
We got that channel up here.
Okay.
So this sounds like something I would represent. Yeah, because I love animation.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, it's a really good story, and like the voice work, everything works with it. It's something you've never seen before.
Okay. No, I'm into it. That sounds amazing for real. I just am here for the random dancing, I guess.
Right?
That's all I need to hear.
I got to see that now.
For real.
Detective
So Lost without the mysticism and random dancing.
Random dancing with big-headed cartoons.
Beautiful.
Totally here for it.
Beautiful.
Is that all you watched this week, sir?
Yeah, unfortunately, life gets in the way. Yeah, life gets in the way of movies.
God, no kidding.
Plus, there's nothing really in the theaters, but I will be back with a review next week for Mickey 17, 13.
Yep,
will I.
17.
I'm going to go see that.
Some number.
Yeah, I'm going to try to see it tomorrow. That's my plan. I want to see Last Breath as well. but I just have not had time to go to the movies, and you're going to know that by what I'm about to talk about, because I saw it a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't on last week's episode because, as I alluded to earlier, I was in the process of moving, and it has been moving fucking sucks, guys. I hate it, and I would be happy to either be rich and have people move me for the rest of my life, or never move again. So I don't think either of those are very feasible. So here we are.
You need that gambler fuck you money.
Yeah, God, no kidding, dude. That's exactly what I need. But yeah, a couple weeks ago, I went and saw the new Osgood Perkins film. He directed Longlegs. He's also done The Pretty Thing That Lives in the House and The Blackcoat's Daughter and Gretel and Hansel, which I didn't like. That was the one movie of his I didn't care for. But he was back with The Monkey from a novella by Stephen King. And this is a story about a toy monkey that causes mayhem in the lives that it enters. So this is I would classify this as a horror comedy, and an actually pretty funny one at that. And this has a very Final Destination-esque feel to it.
Yeah.
So the deaths in this all come about in not quite as intricate of a way as like the Final Destination deaths, but there is this sort of like, oh shit, how is this going to go down? And like some of those moments actually caused some of the biggest laughs for me, because I was just like, oh my God, like what an insane story. But yeah, it's about a man who and his brother whose father came across this monkey when they were young, brought it into their family, and essentially kind of like attached it to their family or cursed their family. And it's him dealing with this and his estranged son as he is an adult now, and kind of coming back into contact with his brother and figuring out how the fuck to deal with this crazy ass monkey that whenever you activate it tends to kill those around you. And for me,
don't activate it.
Okay, right. Activate. Would you see those drumsticks start twirling, homie, and it's
the batteries out.
You know it's over. Like, you know it is not
flush it down the toilet.
If only it were that easy. If only.
I know.
But this I thought was incredibly entertaining. This is a very different film than anything Oz Perkins has made before. Like I said, this is a comedy. It leans very heavily into that. It does kind of get into almost like silly territory at times, without being, for me at least, silly, off-putting. It was like deranged and insane, and it's very bloody and not necessarily violent, I wouldn't say, but bloody. So there's not a lot of like graphic like killing or stabbing or like slasher type stuff, but there are a lot of like insane deaths. And as this thing gets toward the end, it starts to fall apart just like a tiny bit, I thought. But I still sort of loved where this all kind of ended up going and where you end up with this. And what this felt like to me in the end was almost kind of like a comfort watch, kind of. Like this is the kind of thing that like you could just sit down and kind of throw on at any time and have a pretty good time with and laugh at. And yeah, this was a good one. Osgood Perkins, man, he's an interesting director for sure, and this was a hell of an interesting choice, especially after Longlegs, because they're just so wildly different. And it makes me interested to see what he does next. I know Coach hit us on Twitter the other day and said he's wants to do like some kind of like a Darth Vader sort of horror stories or short stories.
Yeah, kind of stories like about like the dark dreams of Darth Vader. And you know, now that they're finally kicking out Kathleen Kennedy, this may happen.
Right? But you can see Osgood Perkins in this. Like, I think a lot of like the look of the movie almost has a very similar look to Longlegs in a way. Like, it has sort of a vintage, sort of a vintage feel to it. That is sort of one of my quibbles with it, because you are in two very distinctly and very far away different like time periods. And they didn't really differentiate the looks of those too much. But I still thought the visual style of this looked really great. And it is just so like kind of zany and unhinged and shit that I guess I've seen some people who haven't had a good time with this, but this kind of, it didn't really exceed my expectations, but it did meet them, I guess. I went in because horror comedy, I will say, is not my favorite genre in comedy.
It's hard to do as well.
It's a very hit or miss thing.
It's really hard to have such a serious outtake story. You have blood, you have murder and everything, and people are almost taking it too light.
Yeah.
But when you get it right, it's like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
So good.
Absolutely.
And this is a great, like, it kind of like goes alongside like
I'm
like
allergic
Nora.
to peanut butter.
Oh,
Well, not for you then.
But you get that wow butter and jelly.
so like I thought some of the biggest laughs in something like Nora came from like editing choices, actually.
Right.
And this movie is very much the same way. Like you get some of your best
Okay.
laughs
Jump
because of
cuts
like
and-
editing. Yeah. And it's just like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like it's just it really is a good time. I know it's still in theaters and I definitely recommend it. And this is one that is absolutely safe for people who don't love horror. I mean, as long as you can deal with like some blood and stuff, but it's certainly not scary. It does have a little bit of like a creepy atmosphere to it. But this
That
is
monkey's
not
terrifying.
the monkey, it looks creepy as fuck for real. It definitely
That toy
does.
monkeys have been torturing children for years.
This is
Yes.
true.
Like those stupid little smiley yeah.
There was
no,
a there was a
I
movie
like
called
those.
Monkey Shines when I was growing up,
Yep.
which I don't know if I've ever seen. But,
Also, I think it's also Stephen King, isn't it?
oh, I don't know.
Monkey Shines.
Now I
yeah.
need to
I think
know.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The monkey has like a psychic connection with the guy that's paralyzed. Yeah.
Who hurt you, Stephen King? What's wrong with the monkeys?
Who hasn't heard him?
Okay, that's true.
Kidding.
That's facts. But yeah, this is a
Oh,
definite
I know.
horror
It was
movie.
a car that was driving too fast along the main highway.
Oh, yeah, right.
That is what hurt him.
Sorry, Stephen. We're sorry for your accident, your loss. I don't know. But yeah, this would be definitely like a buy for me. I could watch this definitely a number of times, and I think this would be a great like crowd pleasing movie, a fun watch with like a group of people, and even maybe like I think it could be like okay, like too with like young teens, like something like that. This would be a good sort of like first step into getting more into like horror type of stuff. Like Carly, I think your kids would probably be pretty.
Oh,
okay
I bet
with this,
Lillian would
and-
love it. Yeah, she's
yeah.
13. Oh, she loves stuff like that.
And I mean, maybe the humor wouldn't quite hit for them, but I don't know. It's a good time and recommend it, guys. And if you haven't liked Osgood Perkins before,
You
this
might like him
could-
now.
Yeah, this could change your mind a little bit because, like I said, it feels very different than all of his previous offerings. So
Yeah. Because I mean, I haven't watched all of his stuff, but I have seen Blackcoat's Daughter, which was very serious. And of course, Long Legs was very serious too. So yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that was it for me, guys. So I got some catching up to do, and that's what I hope to. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm hoping to hopefully see 2 movies tomorrow. If not, I'm at least seeing 1. But I'm trying to get back on my game, guys. Like I feel out of sorts. I didn't go to the movie theater. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
You'll be back.
You got a letter from AMC?
Okay, right. They were like, sir, we haven't
have
seen
your
you.
seat.
We're contacting you about your car's extended warranty.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
We
the
need to
paper
do a
boy in Better
wellness
Off
check.
Dead. Like, I
Right.
want my $2. They're like, we want you back at the theater. Like, all right, we're gonna move on to Mr. Brad. Mr. Brad, what did you watch this past week?
Well, before you say what I watched, hearing that movie might be appropriate for like younger teens makes me really think about taking Sophie to it, because she was here last weekend and I walked in the room and she's just watched this movie. I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, oh, House of Wax.
Oh,
okay. She's
okay.
gonna be fine. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's that? And she says, oh, it's just a movie. So I'm sitting down watching it, completely forgetting what House of Wax is.
Mhm.
And I come across the scene. She's like, oh, I think I watch this. So I'm watching this. And you have somebody
Paris
picking wax.
Oh yeah,
off of
Jared
somebody's
Padalecki's face.
And it's just it's his flesh, like his
Eyeballs
muscles
moving.
under it. And I'm like, what was going on? She says, well, you see, this guy removed his skin and then put wax on it. I'm like, why? She's, well, because he's crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
good to know.
Real.
And then I left the room and didn't come back
Oof.
because it looked too scary for me.
You were like, no, I'm
Aw,
good.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
I'm good.
disturbing.
She'll definitely be fine with the monkey for sure.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you, I think, might enjoy this as well. As someone who did not love Long Legs, it's a good time at the theater or
Satan
at home
Magic.
or wherever you want to watch it.
It's not
Satan
Saint
magic.
magic.
No. Well, I mean,
Maybe.
not in
I
the way
don't
that
know. I'll watch it. I'll check
not in
it
the
out.
way that Long Legs
There's no
does. It never
hell
really
Satan
explains
in it, right?
No, but there is
Okay,
like
good.
sort of a like what is
Oh.
driving this monkey or like what?
Okay.
No, is
Fair.
there a magic iron ball stuck in the monkey?
No.
Oh my
no.
god, what? okay, there needs to be a third movie, and it needs to wrap it up into some kind of weird trilogy with long legs.
Okay,
No,
there
I'm
was
just kidding.
there was a fucking magic iron ball in the monkey. No,
No, that's something we wouldn't find out till the third movie, but I
Okay,
could see
cool.
them trying to do
Well, I'll be
something.
there for part 3.
Okay, there it is. But yeah,
Yeah, so beyond House of Wax, which I didn't watch because my daughter's twice the man I'll ever be, I actually sat down and watched. They came out recently. Daredevil: Born Again
okay.
off of Disney Plus North. It dropped 2
Kanye's new
episodes.
kid, as Coach said.
It dropped 2 episodes, and it's the adventure of Daredevil, Matt Murdock, Foggy Nelson, and Karen Page. I read all these comic books, all the 9, 10, 12 restarts that they did. I watched the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie and even the previous seasons that were on Netflix.
Okay.
I loved the previous seasons on Netflix. I remember watching the very first one, and this really kind of took me back. And when I watched the first episode of the Netflix one, shit, I was living back at my old place and I was still married. So I'm like, Jesus, how long has this freaking
Right.
It's been a
taken
little
to come
while.
out? So yeah, it has been a while. But it all the actors are the same. You have Vincent D'Onofrio still as the Kingpin, still just killing it. Charlie Cox as Daredevil is perfect. And I don't know the actor's name, of course, but he plays my absolute favorite villain in a Marvel universe of Bullseye.
Okay.
Always loved Bullseye, the psycho that can throw things real good.
Okay.
And he's in the first 10 minutes of the first episode, so I was in.
Okay.
It has the fun action. It has a pretty divisive first 10 minutes of the first episode that has really split Daredevil fans. I'm not going to spoil it, but something happens. But what I was more impressed with is during the Daredevil Bullseye fight, because they do fight in costume, which is always cool. At the apex, Daredevil throws Bullseye off the roof. And he lands splat.
Okay.
He doesn't die, but it looks like he should have. And then they do like a year jump, like 1 year later. Some things has happened that Matt Murdock might not want to be Daredevil anymore. That always bothers me. That always will forever bother me.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to do this. I don't know if it's a budget thing. They don't want to show the suit that much. But, okay, here's your superhero. Everyone loves the superhero. I'm not being the superhero anymore.
Right.
I signed up for the superhero. Matt Murdock. This isn't the Matt Murdock show. It's the fucking Daredevil show. Put the fucking suit on. Do stuff.
Please. Do it.
And by the end of the second episode, he does some Daredevil stuff. And you're like, okay, yes, I'm back in.
Okay.
But even like the subsequent stuff with Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin, who becomes the mayor, because who'd ever thought a fucking evil criminal entity could hold any kind of political power?
Never.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Only in fiction. Only in
okay,
fiction.
right. And am I making shit up, guys? Or the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, was Bullseye Colin Farrell?
Yes,
it was.
Okay. So I'm not making shit up. Okay,
terrible whatever he had subdermal.
He had the scar. He had the scar.
So bad. I'm sorry.
But it was like
it was so
huge.
bad.
Yeah, it was
huge.
So bad. I like
I
the
always
movie,
wondered-
but I'm just talking about that scar, which is silly.
I did always wonder about that scar, if like he had some kind of childhood accident that got him that scar that made him become Bullseye, or was he just bored one day being Bullseye and carved it in his forehead?
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
I think he was bored.
We have a chicken and egg roundabout.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah. A very poor timed accident with a branding iron that just, well, now I have to be a supervillain.
That's right.
My life has been chosen for me. Okay.
Yeah, it's that.
I have been advised I will be watching this show with Chris because he's very excited for it. I didn't realize it was out. I'm surprised we haven't watched it. So,
Well, I mean, the first 2 episodes drop. I think it drops every Tuesday on the Disney Plus for however long it is. But I always liked the superhero story naturally, but I like the street level superhero stuff.
Mhm.
I like guys that know karate and wear fancy outfits, and despite being blind, can see better than anybody.
Okay.
And I'm down for all that. So it's
Killing it, yo.
definitely a buy for me.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about the next ones.
Okay. That might be a show, guys, I actually get in on. We'll see. It's early.
Oh,
to
you
tell, but-
should. Because one of the things, Charlie Cox is so freaking charming, even when he's being a
Oh,
prick.
yeah.
And he has quite the few prick moments in this, but he's just, I don't know, he can pull off despair, anger, and I don't know how this is going to sound. He looks like a blind guy.
Okay.
Like when the glasses come off, he's got the eye thing. He looks like he's
Mhm.
blind.
I love it.
I don't know if he blinded himself for the role, because I think you have to do that now.
Okay,
I don't
wait,
know if
that's-
sighted
Yeah,
people
he's a
can play
method
blind people
actor.
now.
He's not
Yeah.
Christian Bale, guys. Like,
Daniel Day-Lewis, he plucked his eyes out to play Daredevil.
Good
Yeah,
lord.
Was it Jamie Foxx to do Ray? Like he glued his eyes shut for most
Yeah,
of
he
the
What the
wore
hell?
contact lenses so he couldn't see,
that's
and he
insane.
won an Oscar for that.
He did.
And he's
I
done
think
nothing
that's kind of
since.
amazing, though. Like, commit, I guess.
No, just act.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, do you ever see The Marathon Man?
I have not.
It's with Dustin
Dustin
Hoffman.
Hoffman. But I haven't
Plays
seen it.
the well, imagine this. He plays a Jewish guy. Is getting tortured by a dentist in certain
Yeah.
scenes.
Is it secret?
But-
Is it safe?
Is it safe?
Yeah,
Is it safe?
is it safe?
Is it
Is it
safe?
safe? Oh, I'm getting freaked out by it. I got to go to the dentist tomorrow. God damn it!
No, God, no.
But there's he told the story about he had to play that he was exhausted on camera, so he ran around like Central Park, like just ran just before his scene was shooting. He shot the scene, everything, and he was exhausted. He almost had to get oxygen. And his co-star playing the Nazi looked at him and says, "Boy, what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, well, I had to do this and this and this and this and this to get the scene." He looked at him, flicked the cigarette, and he says, "Boy, it's called acting." Act.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that actor was Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier,
Oh,
excuse me.
okay.
Yeah, I thought that was him, but I didn't want to sound like a prick. Yeah. So
I don't mean to brag, but I wouldn't have to train to be exhausted because I stay
Right.
exhausted, bitch. Especially
what I'm saying right now.
Man, I wake up exhausted.
yeah. So we're all better than Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, we said it.
That's right. We should be
Sorry,
making
Dustin.
the big
Sorry,
bucks.
you're not good enough, Dustin. No, I'm kidding. God.
I'm gonna pay for that because I'm going to the dentist tomorrow.
Okay,
Aw, no cavities. You're not going to have any. You're going to be
Oh.
good.
No.
you'll be fine, sir.
I'm getting a root canal.
No,
Aw.
man.
Yeah.
The worst of the worst, man.
So that's what I get to watch.
Okay, there it is. So we're moving on to Miss Carly. Miss Carly, please hit us with the extraordinary things that you watched.
Oh
this
my
week.
goodness, what a setup too, especially for what I watched, because
Okay.
I did not watch really anything that new.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about 2 other movies that I did watch. One of them is definitely newer, but that is in our top 3 list later.
Okay.
But I did watch 2 other movies with my daughter this week. And the first one is The Wedding Singer, which is a classic. And that, of course, if you haven't watched it, it tells the story of a local wedding singer and a waitress that are both engaged to the wrong people. And I just found Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore to have such a sweet and playful chemistry together. All of the 80s music and the pop culture references hit just the right spot.
Always fun. Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, it's charming as
It's
hell.
really an all around great feel good romantic comedy. And I actually had my first kiss during this movie when I saw it in the theaters as a teen.
Oh,
So
I love
Really?
that.
So,
so
so
much
let me
fun.
get them. Hold on. Let me get this straight.
I'm doing the math.
Before you saw The Wedding Singer, you
Yeah.
had never been kissed.
Whoa.
Oh,
Correct.
that- I
But Never
knew you
Been
were gonna
Kissed came after The Wedding Singer. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which that is a creepy movie though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
Very.
But just yeah.
Yeah, that one
movie
is
that
The whole
made the
teacher.
well.
Yeah, no, not with the teacher.
Did your
But,
daughter like The Wedding Singer?
Oh, she loved it. She loved
Okay.
it. She thought it was really funny and really sweet. And in fact, she liked it so much the next day that she was like, can we watch another movie kind of like that? And I was like, aw, okay.
51st Dates it is.
Well, no,
Okay,
I
well,
think she has watched that
creepy
with
as
us
well.
before. But I just, 51st Dates is a good movie, but The Wedding Singer is always going to be my go-to when it comes
Way
to
higher,
Adam
yeah.
Sandler and Drew Barrymore. I think they're just perfect in the movie together. But yeah,
That is
so I
one of-
watched.
one of my favorite lines is
What's that?
when he says, "Take off my Van Halen T-shirt before you curse the band," and they break up.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I love that part.
Yep, so many good lines. And then the only other thing that I watched, again, I also watched it with my daughter, and that is La La Land. And Chad was telling me that he hasn't seen this movie. You have to
I have
see
not.
it. Definitely have to see it. I'm not a
want
big
to.
fan of musicals, but I really liked this. It tells the story of Sebastian, and he is a pianist, and Mia, who is an actress, and they connect. They follow their passions to achieve success in their respective careers.
Okay.
Then when they find themselves torn between their love for each other and their careers, we kind of get to see what happens at that point. But I just love what my daughter said. So while we were watching this movie, I wrote this down. She said, in response to one scene in the movie, she said, if Ryan Gosling asked me out on a date, I'd go too.
Okay, right.
We all would.
I was like, yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, even my husband said that. He's like, yeah, I'd go too. If
Okay, but
Ryan
I mean,
Gosling asked me out on a date.
Why not?
I
Go
still
to his
think
place
that
or
the
something, yeah.
opening scene is so phenomenal in that movie where you just don't know
In the
where the
traffic.
next you don't know where the next dancer / singer is going to come from next.
Okay. Is this
Really
Damien
good.
Chazelle?
It is.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
that's
very
the one
good.
that this is also from the Oscars.
Yeah, they misread the card and
Yes.
gave
Oh no!
mispictured.
misread it?
Yes.
Who misread
Warren
it?
Beatty was reading it and he just misread it of who actually
It was
won.
supposed to be Moonlight.
It was supposed to be Moonlight.
Mhm.
And
It
then
was Moonlight that won.
Yeah,
but
that's
they
what
said
I-
La La Land.
Yeah.
I mean,
No
The
offense, I would have
producer
given it to
came
La
up.
La Land too.
Well, yeah, I mean, the poor producer gets on stage and he's like, "No, look, it's Moonlight. It wasn't us."
Oh my
Oh, God.
goodness!
Like, because the whole crew comes up for La La Land, and then he's like, "No, it's not us."
That's super fucked. Holy shit!
Ooh.
I didn't watch that, but damn, I knew about it.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
if you watch that, it's a oof.
I don't mean this the way it's going to sound. Maybe don't get actors, actresses, performers, anything that are over 100 years old
Maybe that's
to,
that's
to,
facts.
to
Right.
deliver certain things.
It's like maybe don't get foreign or
No.
former presidents to talk
Aw.
about other presidents. Like,
Exactly.
ooh.
Right.
Yeah. Don't. Just don't.
Is that all you watched this week, Carly?
Other than what I'll talk about on
Okay,
our list,
gotcha.
yes.
Well, I was gonna say, since we're on the topic of actresses and actors, literally over 100, we're gonna talk about the Oscars now, and I'm gonna talk about my very favorite moment of the night, which came from June Squibb, the star of Thelma,
Oh,
and how she claimed during the Oscar telecast that half of the time that you see her, she's being played by Bill Skarsgård
Aw.
in prosthetics and makeup, and it came
Yes.
across as so sweet and so funny and so her. And it was so good. It was literally one of the best moments of the night. She was like, the real June Squibb is at home right now, curled up with a book.
Yeah,
And
that
I'm
was
really
good.
Bill Skarsgård and a lot of makeup. And
Aw.
it just was so cute and so funny.
Was she nominated for anything?
No, but I
No.
think she could have had a nomination. She was that
That
good.
was sad.
Yeah.
I love
For
Thelma.
It was so
Wait,
good.
did that come out in 2024? Right?
It
Yeah.
did. Yep,
Okay,
it
that's
did.
what I thought. I was like, oh man, that didn't even get nominated for anything, did it?
Nothing.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's one of those movies that
I know. It was so sweet though. It was so good. I liked it.
and especially for her, like this
Right?
woman's in her 90s, and this is the
Mhm.
first time she's ever had a starring role in a film.
Mhm.
And she just comes in and absolutely crushes it. I mean, it's a role that's built for, of course, someone like that, someone her age and stuff. But yeah,
It's such a fun
great
movie
movie.
too.
And that would have been
Yeah.
a hell of a, at least like one of those, like the award is the nomination type of
Right.
nomination. Because it would
Yeah.
have been very well deserved. I don't think anybody on earth who has seen that or knows who she is would have been mad at that.
Mhm.
So that could have been a cool
I think
time
they
to,
already had the aged actress category sewn up with Demi Moore.
okay, right.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say with what's her name?
The Brazilian lady.
In the in Conclave.
Conclave,
Oh.
yeah.
oh, Isabella Rossellini.
Isabella
Yes, thank
Rossellini.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Oscars were this past Sunday, and I think a few of us, like I think 3 of us, actually watched it, and Carly just knows what happened.
I don't have I don't have TV anymore.
Well, I
so.
don't blame you. I mean, it's also almost 4 hours long. It started at 7 o'clock, and I think it wasn't over until like going on 11 o'clock.
Oh wow.
And they're
Yeah.
always forever supposedly trying to like pare down the ceremony. And
I was about to say, what are they doing? They don't have that many categories. What takes so long? Is it the commercials?
It's kind of like a public school. They cut the important
Gotcha.
stuff first. So
Okay,
it's
right.
it's like, hey, let's get rid of I don't know, civics and and reading, and or like for Oscars, it's like, well, what if we got rid of production design? What if we got rid of no? Don't get rid of costumes.
Right.
Like,
No. Yeah.
definitely
why
not.
would I know that? Jeez.
And I actually like the way
everyone's-
they handled those things this year, the
Yeah.
Okay.
costumes and production design. They had an actor from each of the nominated movies come up and
Oh, cool.
wax poetically about like
Mhm.
why that craft was so good in the film that they were in.
That
And I
was
thought
really
that was
cool.
handled
Actually.
really
I like that a
well.
lot. No,
Because you never-
they did it really well, honestly.
Mhm.
I mean, it was not boring. It did keep moving along, even
Mhm.
though, like
Definitely.
I said, every one of my guesses was completely wrong.
Hey,
I don't think
I
I got one of them.
Hey,
I
man.
got of all
Aw,
my
I
guesses. I don't think I got one.
just a few.
I think the
I got a few.
production was well done. I think the directors nailed it, the producers nailed it, and everybody. I think the actors sucked. I think all 4 of their speeches were weak at best.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody went on for a record 5
I heard
minutes
about
and
that.
40 seconds.
And said nothing.
Nothing, right?
I mean, I get that you're excited, and yeah, you've just won this like big award, but
But
it
he
just
also
came across
said
as
this isn't
kind
my
of
first
arrogant.
rodeo.
Yeah,
But
and
I mean, like, you listen to what Sean Baker got to speak 3 times,
he had the best
Yes.
speech of the night.
and it was like he had, this is why film is great. This is how it can be better. Why don't we try this?
This is
Yeah.
what we should do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I really do. Like I said, Honora was not my favorite film or anything like that. And the actress was not my favorite actress. I could see why it won.
Mhm.
And I'm glad it did. I'm wholly glad it did, just because, as we said, what are the Oscars more than just throwing a spotlight on a performance? And in this case, with everything that Honora got, maybe it'll shine a spotlight on what Sean Baker is fighting for, is
Yeah.
the actual independence in film. We talked
Yeah.
about this on text, that what can indie film do? I mean, like Lucasfilm was an independent film, Miramax was highlighted independent films,
Mhm.
and then they get the money, and then they're not independent films anymore.
Right.
Can independent film survive with a lot of money? I think
Well,
that's the
yeah.
question. But I think that's what keeps independent films so charming and innovative.
Well, the filmmakers
Coach,
can
you
make
and I have talked about this a lot, that when you don't have money, you have to figure something out. So
Mhm.
you either have to cut something, or you have to really lean into a performance. When you have $100 million behind it, well, just CGI that dragon.
Mhm.
Just add a dragon. We don't need
Yeah.
one. It
Right.
doesn't call for it. It's a movie about the Pope, but we need a dragon. Like just
Sure. Well, I think there's
Yeah.
passion in all kinds of filmmaking, but I think especially in independent film, when you, like for Honora, had a $6 million budget and you have this vision and you've written this script and you have all of this in your mind that you want to put out there for the world to see, and you've got to get it out of you. Like, I think it brings out a more artistic side and a more like auteur vision, like from Sean Baker, who made history that night. He was the first filmmaker ever, or the first person at the Oscars to ever receive 4 awards for the same project. Walt Disney did this
Tied with
before
Walt
in the
Disney.
past.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
But
cool.
Walt
crazy.
Disney's
I didn't
were
know
for
that.
different projects. So this is the first one for 4 for one project for
And
Sean Baker.
He seems committed to like being that independent auteur of not having a budget like over 20 million or something like that. It's funny, the last independent wave, that all of us, lived through was the 90s, where you had the Kevin Smiths, Robert Rodriguez, and Tarantino, all these guys who, other than Kevin Smith, they're all basically doing $100 million movies now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like Paul Thomas Anderson, like Spike Jonze, like all these guys that came out of this, we're these amazing artists. Like now, they're it's so big.
Yeah.
Well, they've been swallowed up by the industry, and
For
I
sure.
could see that. I mean, I could think that, like what Robert Rodriguez has done. What was his last movie? I think it was like Alita, Battle
Spy
Angel, or
Kids
something like
38.
that.
God, right? Real.
But I mean,
Fuck.
he achieves certain things. If it is the one I'm thinking, that Alita, Battle Angel, that you could not do on a lower budget.
Sure.
So I mean, to have a vision and see it use your skills on a bigger budget is one thing, but when the budget takes over your film, is it really yours anymore?
Right.
When
and if you
have,
start in one place and suddenly you're making these gigantic budgeted things, like, does it become unwieldy to you because this is not what you're used to?
well, I mean, but I don't think anybody really starts out at a big budget. Nobody just plucks somebody out of film school and says, "Hey, here's Star Wars."
Yeah,
You
right.
know?
Exactly.
Brett Ratner.
Well, there you go.
Well, yeah, there you go.
You see how that turned out.
Look what happened to him.
Well, I was going to say Coralie Farjah too. She made Revenge, which was a smaller budget independent thing. But then the thing they offered her after that was Black Widow, and she said, "No, I'm good on that.
Thank God.
I don't want to go that way. I'm going to make the substance. This is
No,
what
I
I
thought we
want."
could have had a kick-ass Black Widow then.
Oh.
Okay, right.
I like Black Widow. I don't care.
I haven't seen it. That's one of the
okay.
very few Marvels I
I
haven't
make
seen.
no apologies for what I like.
You know,
None needed.
one of the things I was surprised about the telecast was I really enjoyed the James Bond tribute. I mean, I'm a
really
Margaret
cool.
Qualley fan,
Yeah, me too.
but I mean, like, I thought that was very well done, even though, Evil owns it now.
Yeah.
Okay, right, real. Well, what I heard, the commentary I saw
gonna be
about the
tough.
James Bond thing was that, and so the Oscars are something up until like pretty much this year I never really cared all that much about, but for some reason this year I became incredibly invested in it,
Well,
and
'cause
I became super interested.
Movies you enjoyed.
Movies you
were
enjoyed have
also
taken
you
front
had a
seat.
vested interest because you wanted your picks to succeed.
Well, yeah, it was even before those nominations though. I was just like, I started to like kind of become interested in like sort of like all the like behind the scenes and like the kind of politics of it all that made me interested. So I never really watched the Oscars much up until now, but I saw another person who is a very Oscars centric like channel on YouTube or whatever say that this is like because this was one of his like low moments of the Oscars was the James Bond thing, because he was like, we've had literally like 3 of those in the last decade and I don't get why. Like, why are there so many?
Right.
And I didn't know
it's
that.
James Bond.
Yeah, okay, right.
I think they do it every time somebody dies, and then this time,
Oh, okay, right. That's
they
real.
They killed the series, so let's do another one.
Yes, very real for sure.
Possibility.
No, I liked it too, and I liked seeing Margaret Qualley. I thought it was well done, and the music was good, and all of that.
I'm not upset with anybody that won or anything.
No.
Besides that, everybody that was up there deserved to be up there. I will say I really, really, I'm a fan though, so it's hard to not enjoy. Conan O'Brien is amazing at doing what he did.
Yes.
It is not easy to be a host because most most hosts want the spotlight.
Mhm.
He seemed to skirt the spotlight enough that he was there kind of directing it, but didn't really put too much focus upon himself.
Sure.
I mean, I'm talking to you, Billy Crystal.
Okay, right there. Shots
And I
fired.
like
And
Billy
next,
Crystal.
another song by Billy Crystal.
I
And
heard he did well
that's
Followed by
too.
song.
Pardon me?
I heard he did well too. Like Billy Crystal had like just a little. Did he do like the opening? What did he
Him
do?
and Meg Ryan came out
Okay.
and did an award, and there was like
Okay.
a tongue in cheek, like this used to be my job.
Aw.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there was nothing too outrageous or corny about it. I mean, the Adam Sandler bit was funny.
It was.
The sandworm, the guy in the bad sandworm costume playing
That shit was
chopsticks,
funny. I thought it was funny for real.
brought
The
him back to
substance
play the
skit was
harp.
funny.
The substance skit, the opening monologue. It was fun. It was fun. And yeah, like you said, Adrian Brody didn't make any friends.
No. For sure. I liked his win. I was very happy about the win, but I also at a certain point was like, all right, homie, like we get it.
Yeah,
Shut
You're
it
not
down.
the only winner
moment-
tonight, dog. Like
his best moment was before the telecast, where Halle Berry came out of nowhere and just said, "Hey, I have to do it," and made out with him
I love
in
it.
front of his wife,
Yeah.
who actually got was fully supportive of the joke of everything. Of like,
Sure.
historically, he's like, "Oh, I'm up here. Halle Berry's here. Got to
Yep.
shoot my shot."
Yep.
Okay, right.
That's when she won. Yeah. No, it was a good show. So wonder if the monkey's gonna get nominated
no.
next year.
Probably not. No.
A monkey
I'm gonna
himself.
go with no.
I will have to say I was very disappointed that Flo won. Like I know
Oh,
it was
okay.
not a bad movie for, best animated feature, but I was kind
Memoirs
of
of a
hoping
Snail.
it was way better.
Yeah.
And even The Wild Robot was better than that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I liked Flo. It was good,
Yeah.
but I don't think it deserved to win, but whatever.
Animals can't use rudders.
Okay,
That's
right.
right.
We're still on,
That's
still
right.
on animals.
They
Animals
can't.
Keep going back on that.
Animals Can't Wait Rudders. Zoe Saldana was the leading role, not supporting actor. And which one of us wants to try and do the segue to the next segment?
Okay, right there
Aw.
it is. But yeah, the
Well, let's
Oscars
talk
guys
about
are
Honora.
Okay,
Let's
right.
talk
Okay,
about
right,
Honora.
exactly. So yeah,
Or
at this
Nora the
point,
Honora.
Panora, if you're from Nebraska.
Honora, yes. Many
Panora.
people are upset that a pornography film won Best Picture.
which I couldn't roll my eyes any harder.
Yeah,
These are the
at.
people who
right.
didn't see the movie.
And I'll be right back.
Right.
Okay. Do it. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like Carly brought it up on Twitter earlier this week, and we've discussed it like a little bit before the show and shit. But like, you see these accounts now, and like, not the Bee or the Babylon Bee, that kind of stuff, who are like, a porno just won Best Picture. Let's talk about it.
Of course, Hollywood's going to celebrate sex workers.
And what's funny is that in recent memory, like,
You're not
and I
supposed
was
to?
just talking about this last night. Sex in film it's such a different thing than what it used to be, and it's like almost completely died off in a sense compared to like the 80s and 90s when it was like tits and sex and all that shit.
Yeah,
like
it was
everything.
all TNA.
Now all we have is just a lot of wang.
Yeah. Okay. Right. That. And
Yeah, no, full frontal.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's just
full
like
frontal
Right.
male nudity did not happen.
yeah, that didn't exist back then.
It was never in the forefront, and now it's so present. Makes it
Sure.
sound like I'm talking about something. It is so present and right there that you're almost desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Like it is almost more shocking to see a pair of breasts now in a
Anymore.
movie
Yeah.
right.
than to see male genitalia.
Well, I think it's irresponsible for any outlet to put out their headlines like that because there are so many people who are not the smartest people who are going to see that headline and just run with it, take it for face value,
Did
and
you
be like,
hear?
"Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly." Very that, and like Honora,
This is the
anyone who's
worst
actually
movie
seen
ever.
it,
I can't believe it. One, did you see it? I did not.
no, because it's pornography.
I would
and, like,
never.
and I want to know anyone who actually thinks that's pornography. Like, what do you think pornography is? Because it's
about to
not a
say,
film
man,
that
that's like-
contains some sex scenes.
Yeah, there's sex in movies. There's been
it's-
sex in movies since the original Nosferatu.
it was very like sorry Veggie Tales 17 or whatever didn't win. Like, I mean, that's kind of what I felt when I heard that. I was like, really, guys? Just one of the most unhinged takes that I saw throughout the entire thing. Like, just very, very weird. And
I think, Coach, you nailed it pretty much perfect. You said if Conclave won, it would have been
that would have been a backlash.
It would have been an anti-Catholic movie wins, or Nickel Boys race baiting DUI,
anything.
DEI.
Figured out something.
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
And if Amelia Perez, it's like a transgender agenda that
Right.
you know,
Memoirs of a Stale swingers movie with
okay, real.
Yeah.
Good Lord, for sure. But yeah, it was just one of the most irresponsible things that I saw, and the only thing that pissed me off about it, like I said, is just that so many people are going to see that, take it at face value, and actually think that.
Right?
Because
they're gonna
they won't do any
out on a
research,
good
they
movie.
won't watch it themselves, and
where this is
I'm
movie that like people like this is a movie that like aspiring film, that's what I want to say, like almost like people that want to challenge themselves with film.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
This is one of those elevating films that they're like, okay, well now I want to see more, and now it's like I don't just want to see Captain America 29.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like we said, there's plenty of movie theaters that have open theaters.
Mm-hmm.
You can slide in an independent film.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to say Marvel or Star Wars or anything at the beginning of it.
Well,
There's always going to be space for those movies. Christ, they're taking up all the space now. But show me something
a little different. Yeah.
Just show me more.
And Honora is inspired in that way because it is, I think Honora is very accessible to a lot of people. Maybe not the total masses, but to a lot of people. It's not a difficult movie to understand. It's not hard to follow. It's not overly like artsy fartsy as people would put it or any of that kind of shit. But it is a different level of filmmaking than something like a Marvel movie in that way. So I think it's a great movie to like sort of like open people up to the slightly more artistic side of filmmaking and screenplay writing and directing and acting and all that kind of shit. So I think it's I was happy with this win for real. Like it really was not my favorite movie of the year. It was my second, but yeah, it was a good win, man.
I would have preferred The Substance to win. It was never going to win.
For sure.
But yeah, and I feel like the majority of the people that are calling Honora a porn are people that didn't even fucking watch the movie.
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And it is kind of interesting.
Like, did we watch the same movie?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't even glorify it at all. It's like not a good thing, you know?
No, it doesn't elevate it. It doesn't denigrate it. It just is. It's
an entertaining story.
Yeah. And I think it was an interesting trajectory this season with Honora because, I mean, you saw the Golden Globes where it took away literally 0 prizes. And then as the season moved on,
Guild, the Directors
Guild, it got PGA, DGA, and all that shit. And like, I get from what, as I'm learning about all of these like awards bodies and all that kind of shit, like PGA, DGA, that win, like basically secured that movie as it's going to win. And yeah, so that's interesting. So next year, watch out. I'm going to really have some predictions.
Well, you know,
that's how I feel.
And I heard that a lot of people that voted didn't even watch Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even watch it. I was like,
why
are you voting?
It was too long. Yeah.
Watch all the movies, please, if you're going to vote.
Apparently, Honora, Neon, the distributor for so the movie cost $16 million. They put together an $18 million Oscar campaign. They were the only studio to send out physical DVDs.
Oh wow!
To all of the voting.
To make sure that they had a chance to see it.
Actually watched it.
Yeah. And
a novel fucking idea.
Yeah, right? It was one of those. I mean, I think it was easy for them to do. Where if you make the movie for 6, and then it just makes 15 in the movie, well, you're already ahead. Now everybody's going to see it even more. I mean, you're already seeing the reaping the benefits of it, where like the main actress, like there's talks of her to be in the next Greta Gerwig movie and stuff like that, and that's part of the thing of like actors that do good work is like they're not going to make a lot of money when they do these things, and then they have to do a insane press tour over and over and over again and go to a whole bunch of award stuff that they're probably not going to win.
Yeah.
Just, that hopefully they can cash out on that next one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw Christoph Waltz win 2 Oscars and then just do some of the most ungodly shit ever made.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
I don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him. Listen,
yeah.
it's. I used to always praise Cameron Diaz, who would do like Being John Malkovich, then Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
And
I
bounce
love it.
back
Yeah,
and forth.
you make your money, you do your paycheck movie, and then you do your art.
Sure.
Yep.
Why not?
Robert Pattinson's a little bit like that too. Like he's becoming a little bit more arty now, kind of. But I mean, he was just Batman, and now he's in Mickey 17. So like, he has a very interesting career.
He was
where
in
he's
Twilight,
making
and then he was
choices.
He's got that
Cronenberg
Twilight
movies.
money, right?
Yeah, for sure. He definitely got that. Twilight money.
Have we heard any updates on Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter?
Okay, right. No,
I think it's been renewed for season 2.
God, right. I'm still very invested in this, guys.
Yes, everybody's watching.
Been renewed for
I hear
season.
the numbers.
That was good.
For sure. All right, and the final thing we're going to hit you with tonight, guys, after our very exciting Oscar talk is we decided the movies we wanted to talk about this week. Well, I think I kind of made this decision because I had a heavy week, guys, and I was like, I need something easy breezy and not too heavy.
Beautiful cover girl.
Because I know we discussed like movies that make you cry, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna need like 2 weeks to get that list together. But we're gonna talk about some of our 3 favorite like erotic or like sexy films, and I thought this was actually really fun. A couple of mine people might be like, what? But I thought this was a super fun topic, and God, erotic and sexy and all that kind of shit can just mean so many different things.
Right.
I thought as I like kind of put this list together, it could be one scene from a movie, it could be a whole entire film about sex or sexuality or whatever it is, and
like that Panora movie. Sure.
Yeah, okay, right. And I think Panora would absolutely fit this category, in my opinion.
We cast him Panora.
Panora, right? Me? If you don't cast me, I'm leaving the show.
No.
I'm the Russian guy.
Okay, right, there it is.
I'll be the Russian guy that goes on a bender. I'm already halfway there.
That will be our slides next week is we cast Panora out of Nebraska.
Right.
I know you're joking. I'm really considering.
Nope. I think I did.
No, I'm not. So for this, we're going to go around in the same order we did everything else tonight, guys. And that means we are starting with Mr. Coach.
Oh, wow.
In neon. I like it.
Yeah. And everything's spelled correctly.
This was
awesome with the AI.
This was a task.
Like, I can't read this. I'm old, guys. I can't
Where
read.
It was like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. This one's been restricted. This one's been restricted.
Yeah, I bet
too sexy. There's nothing worse.
You had to pay the premium to make this thing happen, didn't you?
Not a misshapen hand in sight, guys.
No people, just
it's
alcohol.
$3.99 for the first trial, but they'll get you at $19.99 a month if you don't.
There you go.
Cancel it.
I do like the puffy ottoman.
There is nothing worse than having to tell an AI bot, I need this more erotic. This needs to be more erotic.
This is not erotic enough, okay?
This is not erotic enough.
I usually just say that in my personal life.
Yeah, yes. That's
like
how I
my
walk
tagline.
around in the morning when I get my coffee.
I'm being real.
Not erotic enough.
So I don't have any honorable mentions. We can go straight to number 3.
All right. Number 3.
2016, The Handmaiden.
It is
directed
a good
by
choice.
Park Chan-wook, who is best known for Old Boy, the good one, not the Josh Brolin one.
Old Boy.
The only one.
The only one.
The
Yes.
only one.
The basic plot is in 1930s Korea, a girl is hired as the handmaiden to a Japanese heiress who lives in a secluded life on a country estate. But the maid has a secret. She is a pickpocket recruited by a swindler to help seduce the lady and steal her fortune. Oh, dun dun dun. This is...
Wait, pickpockets can do that?
Well, they can do a lot of things, and she was picking a lot of things in this movie.
Yeah, real.
This was like the way that the seduction happens and slowly over each scene. And then they kind of reveal this almost an S&M kind of torture chamber aspect of it. That there is, it never goes into good detail, but there is an octopus in this torture chamber.
Oh, goodness.
It's just kind of like, oh,
Go
there's this, and then, oh, what's that big octopus for? We shall not say.
Okay, right. This will go unsaid.
Yes, it crosses a lot of taboos. It is incredibly fun to watch, and it is very titillating at the same time.
This movie is incredible. I considered this. I have not seen it for a while, and this just tells me I have to watch this again soon. I love this movie.
Those two dudes look like they're ready to kill something.
Oh man.
Like,
and
they're
I almost
staring right
watched
at
this. Yeah, I almost watched this last night, but it has subtitles, I would assume, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I didn't watch it last night. I was like,
Okay.
I don't have time for it, but I definitely am going to watch this.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
good
gonna
one
watch
to put
this
on the
again.
list.
You will
Watch
like
this
it for
again.
sure. Good choice. Good choice, man.
Alrighty, we can go to number 2.
All right. Oh,
heard
I
good
haven't
things
seen
about
this in
this
a
one too.
million years.
I haven't
Yes.
seen it at all.
I've never seen this.
Oh man.
Y tu mama tambien. The basic thing is in Mexico, 2 teenage boys and an older woman, late teenage, not early teenage, late teenage boys and an older woman embark on a
Legal.
road trip to learn a thing or two about life and each other on the way. The way this kind of is there's a twist in it later on, but as they travel through Latin America, these 2 young guys, like they're just kind of horned up teens. But as they experience love and lust and life, they get a whole different perspective of the difference between lust, love, and what they actually want out of it.
Sure.
But there is like this sexual tension throughout the whole thing that manifests in an event and how it affects all 3 of them and their relationships moving forward.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's very good. It's a good movie
Yes.
for sure.
I've heard it's
Yeah,
good.
I've never seen this.
Okay. I forget who directed this.
She's got a
Anybody?
great hat.
Alfonso Cuarón,
Yes. Okay.
who is known for like everything. He did Gravity, Roma, Children of Men,
Children of Men.
one of the
Okay.
best movies ever made. Yeah, it is kind of his early work, but still the stroke of a master, no pun intended.
Sure. This is
Different
kind of
stroke.
like,
Well
I mean,
done.
I think this is kind of, as we were talking about Sean Baker earlier, I think you could see something like this as like kind of Sean Baker sort of now, maybe.
Yes.
And like it maybe could show you watching this director's career where Sean Baker could go in the
Right.
future, maybe. So yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those that like the Mr. Skins of the world, when that was out, would be like, oh, there's a threesome. There's a threesome in it. You gotta see the. Yeah, okay, there's a threesome in there. Everybody relax. There's a little more to the story than just that.
Yeah, real. All right, ready for the next one?
This is my number 1.
Oh shit, here it goes. Oh, it's so good.
Yes.
It's so
A
good.
movie that was challenged to Wachowski's Starship. They wanted to do The Matrix, but the studio basically said, we need, like, you haven't really done anything.
Mhm.
So they went and they directed Bound, which is just, it's so
Sexy.
well done. It's, all right, here's the IMDb thing is tough ex-con Corky and her lover Violet concoct a scheme to steal millions of stashed mob money and pin the blame on Violet's crooked boyfriend, Caesar.
Chazar.
Played by Joey Pants.
Joey Pants.
Okay.
And you can tell the seeds of the Matrix
Yes.
from this
Definitely.
just by the outfits.
The black leather.
The black
Not just
leather.
the black leather.
The haircuts.
The suits. The
Yeah.
suits on the mobsters.
Okay.
The red crushed velvet suits under the black ties with like it was just it has a very stylized look, even from the grimy apartment.
Okay.
There's a shot in this film that that lives in my head rent free, always will.
Yes.
Where one calls the other, and like the camera follows basically the phone
Phone cord.
Yes.
like down and like through the wall, like to the other. Or whatever. It's just so sick. It's so good.
There's a knot in the phone cord, and the camera follows it and does like a loop to loop.
Yeah, it's so good.
Just like that. Yeah,
this is cool. Peak Gina Gershon. You kind of have cocktail Gina Gershon and bound Gina Gershon is to me peak Gina Gershon. Jennifer Tilly, who is I would say this was probably her most serious work, where she's acting and you're not laughing at her.
Sure.
Yeah, because she's not playing a cartoon.
Yeah, like the voice works like she is this mobster's girlfriend who wants out and more, and then there is this, listen, gay, straight, bi, whatever, everybody's attracted to this version of Gina Gershon.
Yeah.
And the scenes between them, most Hollywood love scenes or sex scenes or sexy loving scenes are basically like one person doing something to another and the other person just starfishing or just staying put.
Yeah.
This is
starfishing. Fuck.
This is there is active work between both characters that there is almost a mutual scene. It reminds me of a lot of history of violence.
Okay.
Where like there's a scene where both characters are together pleasing each other, where then it turns, as the story turns, to one pleasing another.
Okay.
And the love and passion that these two show throughout, that is just incredibly striking, that basically adds to all the motivation of the things they do.
Yeah, excellent choice. It's a great movie, man. I love this so much. All right. So, oh God, my choices are so fucking weird, guys. Holy shit. Oh my God.
I'm sure they'll be great.
I always have the weirdest choices of any.
Billy Madison.
No, I'm just kidding.
Paddington 2.
Oh God, I hope not. Oh jeez.
That's too me coded.
Marmalade.
So sticky.
It's a bear in a raincoat.
Chad.
Chad. I also like.
Yeah, those of you listening, really go on YouTube and just check out this title card. This is
gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah. It's a lot for real, but I like it. I've come to really become invested in this title card. So I also do not have honorable mentions, guys. So my number.
Everyone was too shy to do honorable mentions.
I did.
You're bold.
Carly's the rule breaker tonight. She stays the rule breaker. I love it. All right, so my number 3, guys, is X.
Ooh,
there you go.
It's a good one.
This is an A24 film directed by Ty West, and this is essentially a slasher film. However, the best way to describe this would be like Texas Chainsaw meets Boogie Nights. It's about a porn production being filmed at a country house, or like a house out in the middle of nowhere in Texas. And
not safe.
This movie is incredible, for one, and it also is incredibly sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Mia Goth is, I'm gay, guys, but Mia Goth is so wildly, insanely hot and sexy, I think, all the time, that there was just no way I couldn't include this. Like, this was one of my earliest, like, the things that like popped into my mind when I thought about this. And then I was like, this is it. I try to pick things that are a little bit off the beaten path, kind of, and like things that maybe people don't think of necessarily. But even though this is a horror film, it is, and it also like is a movie that deals very much even outside the pornography angle of like, with things like sex, sexuality, sexual discovery,
and repression,
repression, all of that kind of stuff. And I think it
horror
even
always
though
has that little kind of like it's the line of sex,
scary and sexy.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't believe I didn't even think about this movie. This didn't even come up in my mind, and I love this movie.
And
but yeah, this is a great pick.
Brittany Snow is also in this.
Yes.
So
she has like
I love her. I love her role.
She's
sweet in it,
so
too.
great in this for sure. And this, of course, kicked off the trilogy that followed. Like the movie that followed this was Pearl, which is a prequel to this, and then Maxine, which was like the trilogy capper. The X and Pearl are both equally exceptional. Maxine is also, I think, very good, but it is the lesser of the three. But as a whole, the entire story told throughout the thing, it's a great trilogy. Ty West is one of my favorite horror directors.
He's good.
And the way he can capture, especially like certain time periods, and that's what he seems to do the best for sure. Like he can capture like this is the 70s as fuck. Like, I mean, it feels like a movie made in the 70s. Pearl feels like a demented like Disney film, like made in like the 40s.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. And Maxine feels like a fun, sexy, like kind of lurid, like 80s like horror thriller. And yeah, this is it's sexy, it's fun, it's not necessarily scary, I wouldn't say, but it's violent, it's fucked up, and yeah, this I can't recommend it enough. If for some reason horror people you have not seen X, please go watch it. It's so good. And then watch the other movies as well. Like it's
my favorite out of the series. So yeah,
X is
right there.
Yeah, no, X is my favorite.
X and Pearl are like basically tied for me. I love both of them. Like they both like that this year. They both like were on the same spot in my best of list, which was number 2. I was like, there's no way I'm picking one over the other. Like I have to go because they both X and Pearl came out in the same year.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just incredible. And Mia Goth is just an absolute treasure, an insanely talented actress. And yeah, X, man, good as fuck. So number
X,
2.
don't give it to you.
Yeah, right. So number 2 for me, okay. I'm mildly ashamed of this because is this movie good? No,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And
That's
this movie, Body of Evidence.
Madonna. I've not seen it. Okay.
Oh, you have to, Carly. Madonna, Willem Dafoe. This is an erotic 90s. Just, I want to call it a masterpiece. It is absolutely. It's trash.
It's something.
It's great trash, though.
It's top tier trash.
It is expensive fast food.
Oh yeah. Like, right. Absolutely. This is Arby's.
It's like Culver's.
Like McDonald's. Yeah. Culver's. Yeah, or Culver's. Hell yeah, bitch. So this came at like after like the success of something like Body of Evidence, or I'm sorry, not Basic Instinct. Yeah,
okay.
Basic Instinct was so popular, made tons of money, and this was like sort of like one of those. I mean, it has like some A-listy people in it. It has a huge star like Madonna, who wasn't necessarily known as being a great actress and shit. But this movie goes for it, man. I watched this fairly recently for another YouTube channel, BS Drunk Pod, and this is the movie that I chose for them to watch.
This is the one?
They
that's so good. I love
that. They loved it.
I was on there earlier. I didn't pick this movie.
Yeah, they loved it. They had a great time with this, and because it's just so unhinged and insane, and it's like a murder mystery kind of, where somebody dies and they're trying to accuse Madonna, basically Madonna's character, of killing this older man who had a lot of money, basically, and it's just
a lot of baggage.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely that too for real. But it's sort of like a twisty turny sort of. It's silly. It's not.
I couldn't compete.
Okay, right.
You remember that line?
Oh my god.
That was the one line. There's a couple scenes that pop out from this movie. One was that I couldn't compete, and then the lawyer going off on her. But the other one was when she mounted Willem Dafoe on the car, and
oh yes,
there was broken glass.
Oh,
he's laying on as she's straddling him.
She takes her high heel, and they're in a parking garage. And spoilers, like I don't mean it's from the
not
guys,
spoilers,
like whatever, like
yeah.
So they finna fuck in a parking garage, and she takes her high heel and busts out this like light above a car because she wants to like try to put them in a little bit of darkness, and it puts broken glass all over the car, and then she like lays him down on it. It's like cutting his back all up, and she like rides the fuck out of him. Like,
you know what? You know this sounds so stupid. When she pulls her dress up, she is wearing the biggest pair of underwear I've ever seen.
Oh, well, she just gotta slide him over to the side.
Yeah.
no sex appeal
All
in
those
the
hostess
panties
night,
she's
it's
wearing.
fine.
And it just
It was laundry day, okay?
well, I remember my girlfriend at times.
Today's not Tuesday. Why
She
does
looks
it
over
say
and she's
Tuesday?
like, "What the fuck?" He's like,
That is
you
facts.
don't wear underwear like that when you're doing that. And I'm like, oh, you have a lot of experience doing this? And she says, I would wear different underwear. I'm like, calm down.
Normally, yes, I would agree, but maybe it was laundry day, so she did the
Right.
best that she could.
Facts.
Right.
But Carly,
There's
I
a
think
lot of-
this is a must watch for you. Like,
Okay.
Oh, totally.
you have to see.
Of course, we
this.
have wrecked it for you. So, yeah.
Oh,
Oh
you
man,
can't.
that scene's just totally gonna be ruined now.
Yeah.
And like this
Took all the sexy out of it.
Well, this was the first time. Like, I was pretty young when I saw this. This was out in the 90s. Like I said, I graduated in 96. I'm not quite sure the year on this, guys. Sorry. But like, I mean, there's like she's dripping candle wax on him. And like, I mean, like it's very like, and I think there is an unrated version of this. And I think I saw it maybe when I was a lot younger that maybe goes like maybe a little bit harder. But this movie goes fairly hard as far as like sex scenes go.
Okay.
And it's like it's getting toward like almost like softcore at times. Like it's but it's fun. It's a blast.
This is after that Madonna put that her book out, Sex.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so that was totally what she was known for. And so somebody says, hey, let's give her a lot of money. And we'll get
And Madonna's a terrible actress, but here she was beautiful. She looked stunning. Good. This was before she became like a weird, like demented
alien person.
Yeah. So this is like
British
Madonna
and
in
then
her
not
prime.
so much. And then, yeah.
But yeah, Body of Evidence, it's a treasure, a classic for me. And this is one like I rewatch probably at least every couple years because it's just that much fun. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And according to the poster, it is bold, shocking, and titillating.
And I would say that too. Like, I think it actually kind of, it's not like Showgirls. Showgirls has tons of sex, nudity, all that kind of shit, but it's like anything but sexy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas this actually, even though this is silly and kind of over the top, like it actually does sort of like get into like, oh, this actually is kind of hot and sexy, and they're like really pushing the limits in a way that doesn't feel as cartoonish as something like Showgirls, which I love too. I love that movie. I considered it for this, but I was like,
maybe not.
It's kind of like anti-sexy in a weird way. All right, so my final one, guys, and this is the one I think I struggled with the most because even due to the subject matter, I don't know that a lot of people necessarily view this as an erotic or terribly sexy film.
Memoirs of a Snail.
Okay, memoir. No, I was kidding.
Please.
And that is Boogie Nights.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, are you kidding? That's perfect.
That works.
This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is, if I'm not mistaken, Paul Thomas Anderson's first feature film. And I think this is a masterpiece in filmmaking. It's, of course, about the porn industry and Dirk Diggler and his big, gigantic dick. And it's just such a real feeling drama, basically, that also, of course, like I said, revolves around the porn industry. So you have sexy women and like sex scenes being shot and all that kind of stuff, which could feel a little bit like perfunctory or by the numbers, but it's handled so well here. And that's where I struggle with it, because I don't necessarily personally find it the most sexy thing in the world, but I could see where it could be sexy for people. And
it was in an environment that just screamed sex everywhere. And it wasn't so blatant. Like, they were within the industry.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. They didn't sensationalize anything, and they didn't, like, there wasn't like close-ups just to turn you on or anything.
Right.
It showed
it's tastefully done, considering.
This sounds so weird. It almost sounds that they were almost a family.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, definitely.
I was going to say, like, it almost projects an innocence at the beginning.
That's what I'm going for, and innocence within the industry that has been marginalized by so many people that have never watched porn.
What I think it does shine a light on the industry in a way too, because of like the drug use and abuse and all of that kind of stuff. But even through all of the heavier things in this film, I think there is a sort of a lightness in a weird way to like the sex and the sex scenes in it that are fun and playful and sexy. And everybody looks great, and it's like very time period, like he was very detailed with the time period of the 70s here,
And everybody's haircut is fantastic.
oh my god. And Heather Graham as Roller Girl, oh my
She's
god, she's a
wonderful.
fucking queen in this movie. I love it. And this is the movie that made me absolutely love, with my whole entire heart, Julianne Moore.
Oh yeah.
This is not the sexiest thing in the world, but there's a scene with her and Heather Graham where they're doing coke in a bedroom and they're talking. And I have never seen a better portrayal of what being coked up is like on film, because that is what it is like. I mean, you're like talking as fast as you can,
You're
as
moving.
nonstop as you
You're
can.
Animated.
Yeah, and they're just like, I love you. No, I want you to be my mom. And like, it's just so that, like, it's so fucking real, man. But yeah, Boogie Nights, incredible film.
One of the best.
In my opinion. Yeah, love it.
Very good.
And probably, in my opinion, Marky Mark's best role.
Right?
He's
really good in
That
I
and
Heart.
Transformers 75.
I Heart
You should
Huckabees
see-
is really good too.
And Flight Plan.
Oh no.
Missed it.
But did he outdo the moose? I mean, that's the thing.
Aw.
CGI moose.
So there's been people going back in Flight Plan and watching it and commenting of how the character is in a state of arousal
Oh.
throughout the entire movie.
That's alarming.
Because he enjoys the torture that he brings.
I bet he does.
Okay, there it is. All right,
Oh, yeah.
we're about to move on to Mr. Brad from Canada. As soon as I find your thing, Brad, holy shit. There we go.
Been there.
Oh.
Like that.
It's not that hard to find, I'm sure.
Oh, he has handcuffs, roses. Let's go.
Oh,
I
look
fucking
at
love
that.
this.
Romantic and kinky.
Well, that's the tattoo I have.
Oh,
And it works really good with the powered by StreamYard duck up there. Yeah.
Okay.
oh, nothing says sex like powered by Stream.
Just wait
Thank you,
until my
StreamYard.
slides.
Thank you, StreamYard.
Are you ready for your
Yeah.
first one? All
Yeah,
right,
I
here
have
we go.
no honorable mentions,
All
so
right.
we can just move right into number 3.
Brad's just putting it right in. Here we go.
Right out there.
Oh, I love this movie. It's so fun. Bruce
Color of
Willis.
Night.
Yeah.
With Bruce Willis
And the towel.
Mm.
and the towel. Yes. This movie, it didn't really sell the sex up front.
Mm.
It sold, from what I saw from the commercials, which made me watch it, was the murder mystery. And I'm still a big Bruce Willis fan. So when I saw that he was in it and there's a murder mystery kind of thing going on, I thought he was got to be a chance to be a tough guy. He really didn't get a chance to be a tough guy. He plays a therapist that takes over his murdered best friend's therapy group. Because you do that.
Of course,
Mhm.
as one
That's
does.
What you do, yes.
And as he does this, he is seduced by a young lady who turns out has been seducing every member of his group.
Oh.
And she has become their perfect partner. Now, spoiler alert, because she is in the group in drag.
Oh.
my God.
Yeah, you don't know that she is playing a male character in the group. And call me stupid, I didn't know this until like the reveal.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, that's a big spoiler. It's a huge spoiler. It is. Oh,
I heard
come
it's good though, but
It's
you know
fun.
what? Even though it's spoiled,
Okay.
it's worth
not
watching.
spoiled.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
completely worth watching just because you're trying to figure it out.
Okay.
And Bruce Willis does some pretty intense, really erotic scenes as
To try to figure it
everybody.
out.
Of
Well, and
course,
I
that's how you
heard-
figure it out.
I heard a little birdie told me, well,
Uh-oh.
maybe a little birdie was like young Chad who watched this movie, that if you pause it just right, you can see Bruce Willis's penis in the pool in
You
this
can.
movie. So-
Uh-oh.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
All right, I'll definitely have to check it out now.
Yeah.
Just
See
kidding.
Bruce's Willis.
Little Bruce.
Willis's Willie.
Yeah.
God, no shit.
Yeah,
Good
and
choice. This is a good one, man.
I do like that Bruce really forgoes his best friend to get a piece of tail and kind of take over his life a little bit.
That's pretty accurate.
All
I
because I'm
mean-
trying to like solve the mystery. Yes.
Okay,
Right?
right. We love a good mystery here on the show.
Yeah. Color of Night, peak 90s.
Definitely.
Peak
Was this
90s.
before or after Basic Instinct?
I feel like
not
this
sure.
may have been
Before.
before. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
it might have
Basic
been.
Instinct was like 92, right?
Yeah, that
I don't know.
feels
I
right.
haven't seen it. So,
No,
Yeah,
that feels
I
about
really
right.
don't
though.
know.
92,
But
yeah.
Okay, this was around the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
Next one.
All right. Here it goes. Oh, I love this movie.
Now, Atomic Blonde might not have been sold as a erotic thriller, but it's sold as a kick-ass spy story. And Charlize Theron and James McAvoy are amazing
Mhm.
as spies. Not your big bombastic James Bond or Ethan Hunt type of spies. They're like Cold War spies kind of thing.
Mhm.
Doesn't stop Charlize Theron from kicking ass and taking names, but the one thing that sold it for me was her love affair in this with the young lady.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
it's
I forget her name. She was in
I
the
can't
Mummy.
remember.
it's
either.
like Butala,
Yeah.
Sophia Butala from
Sophia
the
Butala.
that's it.
Yeah, she was in the Tom Cruise Mummy movie.
Okay.
And the Bad Zack Snyder epic.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
And Artemis, like Hotel Artemis.
Okay.
yeah. She's been in a lot,
Yeah.
but I don't know. This one just sold for me the fact that yeah, she was an informant that the Atomic Blonde seduced, but during the seduction, they fell in love, or she absolutely fell for her.
Mhm.
The love scenes are tasteful, very passionate, and according to my friend that was watching with me, can you leave the room? I'm like, no, you're not gonna do that here.
Oh, we're
he's like,
both gonna
"Well,
watch
no.
it at the same
Yeah.
time.
And like, no, piss off. And he's like, dude, this is spank material. I'm like, will you stop?
Yeah, we'll just
Just
both
Then
have
rent it and
boners
take it home.
together.
Like, yeah, like I'll get you a copy and you do whatever you want with it, but
Yeah,
you're not
okay,
doing
real.
it here.
You're not pausing it here.
No.
No.
No. Oh, I could have left for 2 minutes probably, but whatever. I wasn't going to. I don't know if I could enjoy the rest of the movie after knowing.
No.
Yeah, facts.
Make him wait.
Yeah. Make him wait. Yeah. Edge him.
Yeah, this is solid. And the soundtrack to this movie is fucking hot. I love it. Like the Needle Drop soundtrack, like the hits
Yeah.
soundtrack. Very
But
good.
I mean, it's equal parts sexy and badass.
Yeah.
And it
Agreed.
kind of showed. I'm a big fan of Charlize Theron for everything she's done. This is one of my favorite movies, and this is absolutely my favorite movie she's ever been in.
Yeah.
Because she shows that she can do it all.
Agreed.
And she did.
I like her
Ooh.
knee-high boots. Pretty hot.
Same. And
Someone
she's
likes
sexy
those
as
boots.
hell. For
Mhm.
real.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
choice, Mr. Brad. Are you ready for your next one?
Yes, sir.
Oh God. Brad's final choice. I'm excited. Oh, let's go.
I think
Figured
Dave and
all
I
the
have a
guys
type.
would pick this.
I think Dave and I might have a type. Yes. Along with Dave, I picked Bound. And I remember watching this and then watching it again and then recently watching it again
And then
at the
not
gym.
returning it to Blockbuster.
Okay, right.
And
Well, no,
rewinding
this is-
it and rewatching
This
it.
is another movie that I watched at the gym recently, but I was
okay.
I was upstairs riding the bike, so no one actually could see.
Okay, not like shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you accidentally hit like Bluetooth. Bluetooth.
Oh
share.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was
Greg was
glad it didn't-
airdropping it to everybody in the.
Whoops.
Oh my God.
But yeah, just watching this, I mean, of course, the sex sells it. You know, the Wachowskis they just know how to cast
Mhm.
for the story they're telling. The story might not always be great in a lot of their movies, but they know how to cast the story they're telling. And the story itself almost looked like it could have worked. The scheme, like their big screw over of the mob guys, almost looked like, you know what? Yeah, that's gonna work. And the credits are gonna roll soon. But naturally it didn't. But
Sure.
as we talked about earlier, the outfits, the bad hairpiece on Joey Pants, the worst hairpiece.
Oh, that's not his hair?
It's really not. It's really not. And I don't know if you noticed, you can't really wash money. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, the tattoos, the chemistry that these two pulled off, and like you said, this is peak for both of them.
Yeah.
Peak for
Agreed.
both of them. Peak for everybody involved, honestly, because it's one thing to have a movie that's sexually charged, but it's one thing to sustain that level of charge through the entire movie. And it pulled off. So yes, Bound, absolutely my number one for a lot of reasons.
Excellent. Yeah, I haven't seen this for quite a while, but I am excited to watch it again. Like, this is one that came up on my list too, man. Like, it's a good one.
Yes.
All right, and we're on to Miss Carly. Oh my God. The pressure.
I did not pick Bound. Okay, that's not even in my list.
Damn, that would have been great.
Neither did I. So we on the same page, girl. Although I will say I flirted with it for real.
Yeah.
But I was scared. Like, Bound was one of those. I was like, man, I feel like somebody's gonna pick that. Like, that's where I was at with it.
Oh, I figured someone was gonna pick it. But I'm like, fuck them. I'm picking it. It's mine. This is mine.
We'll have a 4-way with that one.
You were like, I don't care. Yeah, right. And you said you have honorable mentions. How many?
I do. I have a couple of honorable mentions.
Are you ready for your first one?
Can we stop and just see that this is the
savor.
absolutely sexiest of sexiest placards to open anything with ever?
This is actually my most erotic film, is the Intel Dorks, like opening splash screens.
Yes.
Google Slides.
I love it so much.
It's
God. Look how sexy
kind of
that is.
With it. It's
Look at those squares.
The squares.
Hot.
All right. It looks like honorable mentions are up.
Oh, polygons.
Okay. All right. We have 9.5 Weeks, which I had not seen until like 3 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, I had not seen it. I had just known about the whole scene where they're making fun of it in Hot Shots with the food.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's about that's about my extent of knowing anything about this movie, other than it was supposed to be sexy and kinky and stuff. It's basically filled with a bunch of foreplay, though. There's not a lot of sex in it. There's a little bit.
Sometimes that's hotter than anything.
Right?
Mickey Rourke plays that curious character who doesn't like being touched.
Yeah, he's really weird in it.
That's his. And he's only gotten weirder.
Yeah, right.
So, seriously, which of the two of them have had more plastic surgery?
Oh God, probably Mickey, but it's probably close. Yeah,
it's a competition at this point. Good Lord,
right?
And they both lost.
So
it's a good choice for real.
Yeah, we have 9.5 Weeks and Secretary, which I enjoyed. Actually, have not seen that for several years, so I couldn't put it on my list, but I remember really enjoying it, thinking it was pretty kinky. It wasn't like it's not like softcore porn or anything, but it's pretty funny. James Spader, Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I love Maggie Gyllenhaal, for real.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I loved 90% of this movie. The ending was just kind of,
it was a little weird. It
dropped off. It had like a high, pardon the pun, climax, and then after it just really, really dropped.
Yeah.
But yeah, good movie though.
Yeah.
And then of course my last one is Baby Girl, which was a surprise. Yeah, it was really a surprise for me. Yeah, I really liked their dynamic in the movie. But yeah, that's my honorable mentions.
Conan
Baby
O'Brien
Girl's so good, guys. If you haven't seen it, watch it, guys.
Conan O'Brien had a fantastic line about this at the Oscars. He talked about, he says, I loved the movie Baby Girl. It wasn't nominated for anything. He says, but I can I talked to Antonio Banderas, and he said it was his hardest role to be convincing to not give his wife an orgasm.
Okay, right.
Aw.
Such a great line, dude. So good.
He says, you should have come to me. I could have showed you how not to.
Aw.
Are you ready for number 3?
I am, and these are actually in no particular order.
Okay.
I just top 3
All
movies
right.
that I like.
Okay, no particular order, guys.
So the first one is Splendor.
Oh, I have not seen this.
Okay, so this came out in 1999, and it tells the story of Veronica, an actress that meets and falls in love with handsome, brooding novelist Abel and sexy drummer Zed.
Okay.
And all 3 of them are soon living together in splendor until their unconventional romance is threatened when a new suitor arrives on the scene with an offer that Veronica cannot refuse.
Okay.
So this one is probably the most easily digestible and mainstream movies of Greg Araki. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him. Okay, so he did this one. It's basically a sexy screwball comedy. I really liked it. I'm not really into the things that they're into in the movie, but it is fun and it is very sexy. Right?
Yeah, I don't like drummers either.
Drummers, yeah.
Okay, right.
Like
God, Lord.
Sexy, brooding novelist are fine, but yeah,
Yes,
not the drummers. No,
Piss off.
they're too much like cavemen.
It makes me
But
realize
no.
I need to see this. I love Greg Araki. For sure.
Yes, this is a really good movie. It is, like I said, it's his most digestible. It's basically a screwball comedy. Again, it's not really what I'm into, but it was a fun movie, and it's definitely very sexy.
Okay. Sold.
Yep.
Sold.
You should see it. It's good.
Sold to the gay with the beard for 100.
For 2 hours on
yes.
Plex.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Yeah. You have it?
Sure.
Okay.
You should put it on there. Oh
it'll
my
be up
god!
there
Yeah,
in a
it's good.
minute.
It's
Coach has
fun.
got you
It's not
guys.
even.
Coach
I
has
think it's
got
like only
you.
an hour and a half too. It's like a breeze. Yeah,
Brad.
it's a fun movie.
You got a deal.
I've seen this.
Are you ready for your next one?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, now Body Heat.
Body Heat.
Oh man, 1981. I had not seen this movie. I just actually watched it for the first time last night.
Oh.
And it is a neo-noir that tells the story of a sleazy lawyer who is played by William Hurt.
Look at that
And
mustache.
I know,
You
right?
can tell he's sleazy.
I love it.
Yes, and a seductive married woman played by Kathleen Turner.
Queen.
Yeah, we're casting.
Yep. And what starts as lust and passion quickly devolves into obsession and plots of murder.
Oh.
So, yeah,
This is a classic.
Dude, it really is. Like, it takes
Mhm.
place in Florida. You can just feel the humidity and the heat through the screen. Everyone is all gross and sweaty throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
And one thing I
think that's
really
hot, personally.
yes. One thing I really loved about the movie is that we see William Hurt's character jogging throughout the entire movie, and then he immediately lights up a cigarette when he finishes his jog. It's like peak health, you know.
Yes.
Like,
peak 1981.
Right.
1981, man. They were
It's
good for
like-
you back then.
yeah, what are we gonna do? We're gonna finish jogging. Let's light up a cigarette.
Facts.
So yeah,
Beautiful.
this is, oh man, there's so many good, like, I mean, it's not like very like hardcore or anything like that, but there's a lot of sexual
Sensual.
scenes, and
Sure.
Kathleen Turner is great, especially like when she invites him back to her house to just look at wind chimes.
Mhm.
And oh my god, and then she sends him away. She like gives him a quick kiss and then sends him away, locks the doors, and is just standing there looking at him. And he's like, oh fuck, I gotta find a way in. And like he goes around and like checks all the doors, and finally he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna throw a fucking chair into the window or whatever, and like fucking breaks that shit so he can get in there and make love to her. It's like crazy.
Hey,
Yeah.
I think that's illegal.
I think it is too. Don't do that.
But first of all, how about them wind chimes?
Yeah, those were some good wind chimes.
Damn good wind chimes.
This is
Worth
the
breaking a
sweatiest-
window for.
The sweatiest movie other than A Time to Kill with Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey.
Right?
And,
That was very sweaty.
I was gonna say Wild Things was fairly sweaty as well.
Okay.
I was like, that would have been my honorable mention was Wild Things. So.
Yeah, my husband kept bringing that up. He's like, you got to mention Wild Things. I was like, no, I don't want to mention Wild Things because, like, I get it. Guys love that movie. I'm not into it. It's perfectly fine. It's not on my
Matt
list.
Dillon.
Sorry.
Okay, there it is. I was gonna say, I hope I didn't ruin anybody's list.
No.
Next,
So we're
All
going
right, my
on
last
to what is
one.
her not number
We have
one.
Kevin
One thing,
Bacon.
Yes.
Mickey Rourke looks really kick-ass in a black
Right?
t-shirt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was one of his earliest roles.
I can't get over Kathleen Turner personally. That woman is hot for real. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, wait. Before you go to the next one, I
Chandler's
will
dad?
say something that was funny is when she's first meeting him at the bar and she's like, I need you to leave before me. And he's like, okay, well, nobody's going to believe that, we haven't hit it off. And then she just slaps him. And then my husband goes, and then it does the jump cut to the next scene where he's like in the car. And my husband goes, I would have just been driving away. I would have been like, okay, all right, bye.
Right.
It's like-
See ya.
He's like, she slaps me. Okay, she doesn't want me to follow her. I was like, oh my God, were you not paying attention? He's
No,
like, yeah, I don't
yeah.
understand women at all.
Slapping can be foreplay.
Yeah.
Facts.
All right,
Gotta
now
have
I'm ready for my last one.
All right, last one, guys.
All right, Sanctuary.
Ooh. Oh.
All right,
There's a scene in this movie. Yes.
I hadn't even heard of this movie until like this week. And I'm
Oh, wow.
really ashamed that I hadn't heard of it because I really liked it. This basically tells the story of Hal, who is Christopher Abbott, and he attempts to end his secret relationship with his dominatrix, Rebecca, who is played by Margaret Qualley.
Mhm.
And a battle of wills ensues over the course of one night, with both struggling to keep the power dynamics the upper hand as the power dynamics swing wildly back and forth between the two. And
It really
it's
did.
Yeah, it's a bottle movie, which means that it's set in a single location for the most
Mhm.
part. Margaret Qualley is a complete powerhouse in this movie.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Right?
Absolutely.
I absolutely loved it. It's a
Explore you
demented
with a look.
Yeah, right. It's a demented romantic comedy, basically masquerading as an erotic thriller.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought it was surprisingly sweet, and I really loved the ending.
Everything from blackmail to
Yeah.
Babies.
seduction
Yeah.
to panic to loss
Mhm.
to like fevered, like, well, you can't, and just almost
Yes,
des-
that.
desperation on the end of if you have a dominatrix and a submissive, desperation is not normally coming from the dominatrix, and she played it off really well.
Yeah.
She did. I totally bought that well, I don't want to ruin anything, so I won't say anything, but
Yeah.
I totally bought her character.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. This is a
That's great
very
blonde.
good, very interesting movie for sure. And Margaret Qualley, she just continues to be a queen, like nonstop,
Right?
in pretty much everything she's been in lately. And I think that's
She's a
going to keep
talent.
happening.
She's a talent.
And yeah, and like to build on what Brad said, like the you can't part, there is a scene in this movie where like someone wants this is a R-rated podcast, guys. Someone wants to come basically, and she is deciding whether or not they can, and it's a great scene.
it's pretty hot. I mean,
Yeah,
like I was
Pretty
like,
hot
oh,
scene.
wow.
Yeah, it was really good. It
Yeah.
was,
Quality.
well researched. I'll say that.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And if
I was
anyone
really
knows Brad-
surprised.
Shut up.
Yes, good choices.
Brad
Oh my
knows.
God.
I
And
have
see-
lived a life. Thank you.
And that's what's so great about this kind of shit. Like for Carly to pick something that she literally just saw this week, like
I
keep
love that.
your minds open, guys, to all kinds of new stuff, things you may not have seen when they were out and all that, because
Coach and I are stuck in the 90s.
With Bound. I get it. I get it. I get it.
I was
We are
this close to
tied to the
making an
90s,
all
if you would say.
90s. I was this close to making an all 90s like selection, but I was like, man, I don't want to do
the
it.
90s was definitely
It was peak erotic cinema.
pushing the
Especially like
limits.
late 80s, mid 90s
Mhm.
from that
Yeah,
time
the
frame.
envelope was pushed a lot in that. I think it was they were trying to try something new, and it could have come from, as we have bragged about earlier, the independent films that were just doing things that no mainstream studios were allowed to do.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, let's lean into it. Let's get Madonna. Let's
Sure.
get Kim Basinger. Let's get Sharon Stone. No one picked Basic Instinct.
I didn't watch
I was
it. I couldn't
afraid.
pick it. I couldn't pick it
Oh,
because I haven't
true,
seen
true.
it.
I thought for sure it was going to be like one of those, like everybody picks this. So I really tried to.
It's almost like the nature of the whole story kind of nullifies the sexiness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel that.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Turns it more into a praying mantis type thing.
yeah. Whereas like Chad's ex, like it's meant to the whole movie is a glorification of that era.
Sure.
So
Mhm.
like it works within the story where that the Basic Instinct just doesn't. I don't know. It
Doesn't
maybe
sell it.
yeah. It doesn't seem as sexy as like more like ooh shocking and titillating.
Yeah, it was. I would say probably Basic Instinct. We all know the scene that
Sure.
everyone sold it on. Oh my
Sure.
god, she's not wearing panties. Like Christ, okay, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Neither am I.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I'm wearing 2 pairs.
Okay.
But also, never forget, hashtag never forget, Basic Instinct 2 is a
Electric
thing.
Boogaloo.
Electric
Basic
Boogaloo.
Instinct 2, Electric
Oh
Boogaloo.
God.
But also, maybe little known fact, and I'm not sure how many people know this. Basic Instinct 2 used to have like a sub, I don't know what they're called, like when it's like Basic Instinct 2, Electric Boogaloo, whatever the Electric Boogaloo part
Oh, the
is.
subtitle or whatever.
Like a tagline.
It was like Basic Instinct 2 Risk Addiction, which I thought was so funny. And
Risk addiction.
yeah, oh my god. And that movie is very about that. It's so
Risk addiction.
it's not
still
very
ice
good,
picking.
unfortunately.
Mm.
And you want it to be, but
All right, well,
it doesn't live
we
up
gave
to
you a
its premises.
buffet of things that are better than Basic Instinct 2.
That's right. And
Still
another
ice
9.5 weeks. I heard
Yeah,
that was
don't
really
forget
bad
another
with
9.5
Angie
weeks.
Everhart as well.
Oh hell. Oh my god. That sounds awful.
Ooh, yeah.
Nobody
I'm not
picked
gonna
Wild
be watching
Orchid
that.
or
I haven't
But
watched
yeah,
that. I want to
nobody
watch it.
did the Poison Ivy series.
no Poison
I
Ivy,
thought about
Wild
it.
Orchid. Yeah, we could all have guys. We could have had a lot of honorable mentions. I
Oh,
think
Yeah, you guys
Charlie,
should have
like,
picked some.
really,
I
really.
picked 3.
Yeah, you're right.
Really
You know, we were
straight.
we're dirty dogs.
You're just thinking
and,
about Bound.
There was another movie I thought about, but I was like, this movie is
Yeah, I
I'm
was
so
never
tied
not
down.
thinking
problematic.
about Bound.
I was tied
Okay,
down to
but-
that movie. I can't tell you.
Has anyone seen The Crush with Alicia Silverstone?
Yes.
Oh my god. I thought
No.
about that movie so hard, but I was like, how problematic is
And
that?
wait,
Oh wait, The
Holy
Crush.
shit.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. With
Yeah,
Carrie
no, that
Ewells or
who's
whatever.
the male lead?
Carrie
Is that-
Ives, yeah.
Carrie, yes. As you wish.
Elwes,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, Carrie
Farm
I
Elwes,
can
Boy.
never
yeah.
say his name.
It's a hell of a movie, and I love it. I used to get called out in an old relationship that I was in, and he was like, "Why are you watching The Crush again?" I was like, "Because this is supreme trash, okay? Like this
Right,
is
it
like
is.
what I need in my life." But yeah, good movie.
Can
Well,
I,
Great
can
good
I
is
give-
a strong word.
Can I
What's it
give
called?
you
Was
a,
really good. Fear is a good one too.
I love
with Marky
Fear.
Mark.
And
Reese
Reese
Witherspoon.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
the roller coaster.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I was about to say the finger roller
roller
coaster.
Wild horses. I just sang on the podcast. Okay, take me away from this. Good lord.
a good
Can I
scene.
share my idea for Ponora?
Pornora.
Please.
So, Chad, what is the bald Russian hottie that we both like in that movie?
Igor?
It's like
Oh,
Igor.
you're a Borisov. Yeah.
So in Ponora, which is the poor Nora story of Nebraska, I have that role being played by Kyle Garner.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Okay.
I have the young we won't necessarily make them Russian, but we'll say like the young kid of means as Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, okay.
So he can leave his socks on.
Okay.
Can he also
Oh my
leave a
God.
bag on his head, please? I'm sorry.
The strangest
Poor
things.
kid.
I have the mom and dad as Mads Milkinson and
Ooh, I love
Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's good.
The crazy priest will be played by John C. Reilly.
Oh, I love
Yes, it
that
will.
so
Alright.
much.
And I have lead as either Kelly Spinley,
Kaylee Spaney.
Spaney?
Kaylee
Yeah.
Spaney, or Kieran Shipke.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
There it is.
That's really good, actually.
I like that. I would watch.
Mhm.
Kyle
Sure.
Gardner, yeah.
I would. Yeah. Oh my god, he's so hot.
My
Is he gonna have the mustache or no?
He needs the
Yeah,
mustache.
he
He
has to have
has
the
to
mustache.
have it.
So,
Yeah,
do you guys want to know some great trivia about him?
of
I
course.
do.
He went to high school
With that
5
mustache.
minutes from me.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
Lucky.
So I went to an all boys prep school.
Mhm.
If I weren't to go to the school, I would have attended the same high school as Mr. Kyle Gardner,
Oh man.
He said,
which I know that at this point Brad will clip, and we will be playing out future episodes.
Oh yes,
my God.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's gonna be my
Yeah.
ringtone.
So he is
That
from
was amazing.
Westchester, Pennsylvania.
That's right.
oh my god, guys. Fuck. All right. Does anyone have anything else to say before we get the fuck out of here tonight?
Mm.
I'm
That was a
tapped.
no. That sounded like that silence sounded like a no.
And we're out.
Maybe.
But guys, like, what are your favorite erotic films? Like, what did we miss that you love? Because
Mhm.
What are you
they're
into?
just-
Tons.
Yeah, what are you? Tell us what you're into, because we're
Yeah.
here
What are
for
you?
it.
What are your kinks?
Join us on our Just
This
for
is becoming
Fans.
a terrible AOL chat room.
God, for real. But no, this one was fun. I love this.
Age,
for
sex, location.
Oh, wow.
real. And with that, I think we're gonna say
Flashbacks.
good night.
Shit.
Yeah.
Good night, y'all.
So many lawsuits.